Hello, gorgeous, and welcome to another episode of Gala Loves Everything. And this one is about a manifestation technique that I have been using since I don't even know, 5 or 6 years old, a little child. And this is a technique I haven't heard talked about anywhere else. As far as I know, this is something that I created, and that doesn't mean that no one else has ever done it, but just that I've never heard it talked about. And this is a technique I've been using for my whole life to amazing success. And I think that often when we talk about manifestation, we really do get things twisted. We really do think that it has to be this very studied, very methodical practice of visualizing and thinking about this and clearing out the blocks and doing the healing and all those things. And don't get me wrong, all of that stuff is immensely helpful and beneficial. And I write about it extensively in my new book, Magnetic Mindset, available on Amazon right now. And at the same time, there's another trick that I just love because it's easy and it's fun and it's mindless and you can do it whenever you want. And I call this technique the interview technique. So here's what happens. When you are just in your house or your car or you're cleaning or you're going on a walk or you're doing something where you're not really focused on anything, right? You're just kind of moving your body ideally and doing something mostly mindless, you're going to start talking out loud to yourself. And a lot of you have read my book and you know about the magical morning practice, and that is, it's like, oh, it's so good. But this is not that. This is similar, but different. In the interview technique, you're going to think about what it is you want to manifest. So maybe it is a really healthy relationship. Maybe it's a pink Lamborghini. See my past episode for information on that. Maybe it is healing a relationship fracture, whatever it is, right? It doesn't even matter what it is. I want you to think of that thing. And as you're moving around, the movement part is essential, by the way. As you're moving around, as you're walking, as you're cleaning, as you're, on the treadmill, whatever you're doing, I want you to start talking about how you did it. And I want you to pretend that you are doing a podcast interview or you're sitting opposite Oprah on her couch and she said to you, wow, you've achieved so many amazing things. And I'm so curious about, how you healed that relationship fracture. What did you do to make that happen? And I want you to just talk out loud, really stream of consciousness. Like you're not recording this. This isn't journaling. You're not creating a script. You're not doing anything like that. You are literally just saying out loud whatever feels like the right answer. And you're going to talk about it as if it's already happened. So you're going to say things. Say, for example, I'm sitting with Oprah and she's like, how did you heal that relationship fracture? And I say to her, I really did have my moments where it was deeply challenging. But the thing that worked best for me is that I held the vision of what it could be. And I really stayed there. And even though sometimes I wavered and sometimes the other person wavered, mostly 80% of the time, I would say that I held the vision of what it could be. And I also really focused on my polarity. I focused on being in my feminine. I focused on making things fun. I focused on not having a lot of pressure on it and really making things fun. This is just an example, obviously. And you're just going to talk about what you did, even though you haven't done it yet, or maybe you've done some of it, but not all of it, that got you there. And you're just going to say it. And I swear that I have used this technique for basically everything in my life. And it's a very unconscious tool. I wasn't even really aware that it was a tool. It was almost where my mind, because I am an only child and I talk to myself constantly, all the time. I love to talk to myself. It's just my favorite thing to do. And I'm talking to myself totally without thinking about it. And I often would use this interview technique really without considering what I was even talking about. Like if you are also someone who talks to yourself, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, like you will be saying things that are nonsensical and then all of a sudden you get on a thread and you just keep talking about that thing. That's what I want you to do with this. And I know that it sounds really weird, but basically what you're doing is you're giving your subconscious the information that you've already done it. Because you're talking in a non-structured way and you're not trying to be logical here, you're just saying what you feel like the solutions could have been. You're really giving your mind the information that it needs to then go and make these things happen. So when we're talking, just like in a magical morning practice, when we're talking about things as if they've already happened, your subconscious just accepts that it's already happened and it goes out and looks for ways to like pull these moments, these experiences, these people to you. You're activating your reticular activating system. And so it is like literally listening for clues around you to help you. It is working behind the scenes. It is your most amazing personal assistant that's working all the time. And so that's why it's so important that what you say to yourself really matters. And you're not telling yourself a disempowering story. You're not telling yourself how hard things are. You're not telling yourself about your failures. You're talking to yourself about your triumphs and your successes. And a lot of people, when I teach techniques, whether it's tapping or something like this, get really hung up on the how do I do it properly and the perfectionism of it. And this is not about that. I just want you to talk about how you did it. And you might be sitting there thinking, well, I don't know how I fucking did it because I didn't do it yet. I want you to take that idea and I want you to like roll it in a little ball and I want you to flick it away because that's a shitty thought that's not helping you. And I want you to think, if I knew what I had done to get this thing, what would my answer be? And just let yourself talk. And I also want to tell you that your perfectionism and your over-intellectualizing of all of this shit is what's keeping you stuck. So you just gotta cut it the fuck out because it's not working for you. Trust me, as a previous major overthinker, it doesn't work. It just puts a fucking in everything. You don't need that in your life. So that's my point. I want you to just talk about it mindlessly, aimlessly, like let your mind wander. Everything that you say doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe 50% of it will be nonsense. That's okay. No one's listening except the universe. It doesn't matter. Just say what feels good. Say what feels good. Because it's not just that you are giving your subconscious information about how to go out and find things. It's not just that you're opening yourself to receive new solutions in the moment, because you really are, and you will have wild downloads while you're doing this. But it is also that you are making space for miracles, change, new things to come through. And you are reaffirming to the universe what it is you want and what it is that you're going to call in. And all of this is powerful and all of this is helpful. And another thing that you're doing is you are staying in the positive energy of the thing. So whenever we want to manifest something, it's like there's a stick, right? And there's two ends of it. One end is abundance of the thing, how good the thing feels, the color of the thing, like what you do with the thing once you get it. And if you think about that end of it, like you just feel really good. But the other end of the stick is the scarcity, the lack of having it, the why don't I have it yet, the comparison-itis, and all of that stuff. And if you look at that end of the stick, oh my God, it's so hard to get to the other end. So when you're doing this interview technique, you're focused on the abundance end. You're focused on the, yeah, I already got it. And you get to reaffirm to yourself, like, it was easy, it was beautiful, it was fun, I enjoyed myself. I met all these people who fucking helped me. I didn't have to do it alone. And so that's it. And I know that that sounds... maybe it sounds really simple. Maybe it sounds really complicated. I don't know. But all I can tell you is that I've been using this technique my whole life, really without thinking about it, and it works. I remember talking to my friend Natalia Benson a little while ago, before she got married to her man, and she was telling me that one of the things she did when she was manifesting him was when she would get in her car, she would talk out loud as if he was on the phone with her. And she would tell him about her day. And she would say, like, you know, what do you want to have for dinner, babe? And blah, blah, blah. And she'd talk in this really loving, affectionate, playful way. And when I listened to her and her man on the phone, that's exactly how they talk to each other. And she really created this energetic space of, this is the way that I communicate with my man, and he's coming, and I can feel him every day because I'm doing this. So that's another take on the interview technique. It's not so much the interview technique. It's really just assuming it's already happened and then talking to seed that energy, to seed the manifestation. And it's deeply powerful. So this is a short one today. I just wanted to share that with you. And I want you to try it and let me know what you think. It's such an amazing practice. And if you team it with the magical morning practice, which is in magnetic mindset, then, I mean, your life will change so quickly. And this is not just hyperbole. You know, this book originally came out as Radical Radiance, and I put it out in, I think, 2019 or thereabouts. And I had people, you know, practicing these techniques and exercises and stuff before the book was over. And so I was getting all this feedback on what was working. And I can say with complete confidence that these techniques don't just work for me. They have worked for thousands of people just like you. Even people who were cynical, who were doubtful, who were like, I don't think so. It still works. Because it's about changing your energy, and anyone can change their energy. It's something that you always have the power to do. It's something that you always have access to. And I love that. I love that. That just fills me with so much hope and optimism. It's like, it's never over until you say it's over. There's always the chance that you can change it, turn it around. You can live a new life today. You can make a decision that empowers you, and you can let the momentum of that build and lead you to a whole new life. And what is better than that? I get high on just the idea of that. Who needs drugs when there's infinite potential? That's how I feel. And I hope that you feel that way too. So if you have not picked up your copy of Magnetic Mindset, this is your moment, honey. I really appreciate the support. And if you bought the book and you're doing the magical morning practice and maybe you're looking for a partner, you could comment below and you could say, hey, I'm doing this and I'm looking for a partner. Does anybody want to buddy up with me? I mean, that would be really cute. So why not just do it? So anyway, I love you. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next episode. Mwah. Always.